Hello, here is Anna, and first of all, thank you very much for becoming my patron. It's a big help for me, and I hope you will enjoy staying with me here. Today we continue learning the exercises for muscle relaxations, for improving your piano technique that I already started on YouTube. And today we are particularly talking about exercises on the piano, on the keyboard. As I promised in the beginning, I want to talk a little bit about organizing these exercises, because there are so many of them, and I even had to separate the second part into a few videos that I will upload in the next few weeks here on Patreon. So how do you actually organize these exercises? First of all, I would suggest you that you try maybe all of them, just to see what works for you. And then, of course, you need somehow to decide what is more important, what is less important. You don't need to spend hours doing these exercises. Like, for example, when I was 14 and when I started doing these exercises with my teacher, I literally did like probably 10 to 15 minutes of them once in a week just with her. I was honestly, I guess, maybe quite lazy to do them at home by myself, or maybe I didn't really believe that they will work, so we only did it together with her, and I still got some results. So of course it would be even better if I did them by myself at home, but you know, at the age of 14 it's kinda difficult. But anyways, I would recommend you to do these exercises regularly, and first of all try to do all of them, maybe at least once or twice, and then you can, for example, separate all of these exercises into groups. Let's say that they don't take you longer than 10 minutes, and every time you come to practice you just do 10 minutes of each group, like following day by day, for example. Or what you can also do is just choose the exercises that you think are more appropriate for your problems. For example, if you feel like you are suffering with general muscle blocks, like let's say you have some kind of pains or uncomfortable feelings in your back, then your main exercise group will be the group that I was talking on YouTube, you know, like for improving your just the feeling of your body. You can use that group and so on. You know, if you have a feeling you have some problems with the jumps, then you can just wait until I upload exercises for jumps, for example, and you can just concentrate on doing those exercises. But of course it's quite unrealistic to do all of the exercises every day. Also, it's not really necessary. How to actually understand if you are doing these exercises correctly? That's quite an important question. So first of all, you should feel comfortable while doing them. And secondly, it's very important that when you start doing the exercises on the piano, that you also control your sound, the sound that you produce. So it should definitely be soft. And of course, sometimes it's also difficult to control such things on your own. So please maybe contact your teacher, ask him or her if you can do exercises with your teacher together, or you can also always contact me and we can make an appointment so that I explain to you some things maybe in a bit more personal way that is better for your needs. And now let's start with actual exercises. First we will start with the basics. There is an interesting thing that we can imagine while we are trying to produce, so to say, the right sound on the piano. So the best thing we can say about our sound is that it is natural. But at the same time, what is actually a natural sound? Because it's not natural for us to play the piano. So maybe you could do such an exercise as just putting any object, I have here a lemon, on the piano, and then you just take this object. When you take your lemon, in my case, you are not really thinking about how your muscles work, or do you have any muscle blocks. I've never heard a person complaining that he has some hand problems while grabbing the lemon. So it means like it's just natural for us. So basically, when you're playing the piano, when you like press the key, it should be as natural and as easy for you as just grabbing this lemon. Now we will actually talk about the right way, so to say, of how you press the key. This is a very basic way to do it, the way that every kid should learn how to do it right in the beginning when they just start learning the piano. But it's also great as an exercise. So the first position is hands on the knees. Then you slowly move your hands onto the music stand and press the imaginary key. Then you move your hand to the keyboard and press a real key, and then you put your hands back to your lap. It's very important to understand that once you press the key or an interval or a chord, you immediately relax your hand and your wrist naturally goes a bit down. This is a basic piano movement that you always have to keep in mind. Never let a tense stay in your muscles after you have already pressed the key. Repeat this exercise with another hand or with both hands. You might have heard before that you should feel how the sound is flowing from your back to your shoulders, then to your arm, hand, and then coming through your fingers into the key. Now try to check it if your hand is free with another one when you are playing the piano. Touch different parts of your arm and feel it, just if they're actually relaxed. Now press the key with one finger and shake your other fingers, kinda like tapping on the keys without actually pressing them. The finger that is pressing the key should stay stable and strong. The other version of this exercise is when you stretch your fingers while one is pressing the key and then relax them. The next exercise is kinda like takeoff and landing. So you basically have to press one key 2 times. First one, you play the note shortly, and second one you hold longer. After you play the first note shortly, you kind of fly a bit higher as you would normally do, and you open your hand like that, open all your fingers, and then when you land, your fingers are coming back together. Repeat for every finger and for your left hand too. When you have learned this exercise, you can move to the next variation of it. Now we will do it in the same rhythm, but on the black keys and with another fingerings. So you do like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. And back, starting with your 5th finger, then 4th finger, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. Then you play it in different keys and in different octaves. In this exercise, you press every key 2 times while going up and then down. Use only your fingers, so not your wrist or hand, and do it very lightly like that. Repeat for every other finger and then for the left hand. Now we will play 2 notes that are connected with each other by slur. You need 5 keys, 5 fingers. We start with the first key and a thumb and connect it with the next key played by the next finger, so we basically just play 2 notes legato. Important here is to feel how your wrist is going down with the first key and going up with the second key. If you've never done it before, it needs quite a lot of control, and then you just go on and play the same pair for the rest of your fingers, go down and repeat it for another hand as always. Now we will play scales, the same scales that you probably normally play, but just with one finger, only for one octave and very slow, resting on every note. Try to control that you press every key in the same way so that the sound is very smooth and even. I'll show you now these scale exercises just in C major, but you can play them in different keys. The next exercise is exclusively for staccato. So we play this little melody in staccato every note shortly and very lightweight, using just a little bit of your wrist. Now we practice different articulations on the piano. We officially have 3 variants of piano articulation: staccato, when you play every note shortly, non-legato, when you play every note separated, and legato, when we connect every note to the next one. So first, let's just practice them using 5 keys, 5 fingers. Classical non-legato is, as I said, separated notes. You use a little bit of your wrist that is going down every time you press the key. Also, you need to relax your hand once if you've pressed the key. Then we play it in legato, when all the notes are connected. It's important that every time you play something legato, doesn't matter if it's just 2 notes or much more notes, it's like your wrist is going smoothly down with the first key and going up with the last one. So don't be actually scared of taking your hand and your finger off the keyboard. Staccato is the 3rd type of articulation, and I find it the most difficult one. You have 2 types of staccato: finger staccato and wrist staccato. The finger staccato works like that. First you prepare the note, so your finger should lay already on the key. Then you kind of hitch up the key as if you would do it with a string. You can even try it out with a string if you have an acoustic piano or a guitar at home. It's a very small movement, mainly just with your fingertip that is going a bit inside of your palm and a bit up. Your wrist is stable in this case. You should do this in quite a slow tempo, controlling your movements. Now to wrist staccato. Basically, it's the opposite of finger staccato, where you play like out of the key. With a wrist staccato, you play into the key with a very light movement of your wrist and whole hand. Imagine yourself jumping on a trampoline. That's basically the same. Do this exercise also on black keys and for another hand as well. Now we will play some polyphonic exercises for your 1st and 5th finger, starting with an octave, getting your 5th finger key by key closer to the thumb like that, and then go in other direction. Repeat for the left hand as well. So now we are done with the basics exercises on the keyboard, and next time we will continue. So there will be actually a few more videos here on Patreon about this whole system of exercises, so I hope you stay with me. And of course, if you need to contact me asking about a private piano lesson, like a consultation where you want to ask me some questions about these exercises, or you just need some kind of control, you can always write me. And yes, if you have any other questions, just leave them down below. And see you next time. Bye!